Okay, so this is the episode 8, and we are covering the stories between November 23rd to November 29th. And also, we will be covering 3 stories from the earlier dates, November 9th to November 15th, when there was a Diwali holiday. So, total 7 stories we'll be covering, and it should be fun. Yeah. So, let's get started. So, as usual, these are the 7 people we'll be covering. So, any idea? We'll go one by one. Who is the first one? This first person. Anyone? Aditi, Samal? You know?
Is one of is there Captain Singh?
No. Okay.
Yes.
We'll go one by one. Okay. So
No, I don't know any.
the first one.
I've only heard of him. Nobody else
Okay.
except
don't know.
Verghese Kurien.
So second one is Verghese Kurien. Okay, that is correct.
Yeah.
Second, step middle. The third one is, okay, we'll come to know that. Okay. And all are actually, somewhere important, and that's why, of course, they are in this list. And there is a Pune connection here as well. So we'll come to that part. Yeah. So the first story we'll have, okay, the first hero is Acharya Kripalani. You might have heard this name, okay, when we discussed the freedom fighters and like Sardar Patel, Gandhiji, Jawaharlal Nehru. He was one of them, okay, in that group. So Acharya Kripalani was born as Jivatram Bhagwan Das Kripalani. That was his name. On 11th November 1888 in Hyderabad of Singh. Okay, in the Singh district of there's a city called Hyderabad. This is not the Hyderabad of Andhra Pradesh. So this is right now in Pakistan. So, as a student in Wilson College in Mumbai and Singh College in Karachi, young Kripalani actively participated in political agitations. So, he was very active as a student leader. He carried out protest against the British at that time. So, of course, the college did not like these things. So, he had to move to Pune, and he completed his graduation from Ferguson College, okay, in Pune. So, you know about the Ferguson College in Pune, right? FC Road, you know that. So, he graduated from there. He also did masters in history and economics from there. After his studies, he became a professor of history and English at the Muzaffarpur College in Bihar. So from Pune, he went to Bihar and he became a professor. In Bihar, he met Gandhiji during Champaran Satyagraha in 1917. Champaran Satyagraha was one of the first satyagrahas by Gandhiji. Gandhiji came to India in 1915, then he traveled India, and in Champaran he started his first satyagraha, which is in Bihar. So here Kripalani met Gandhiji. Kripalani was inspired by Gandhiji and joined Indian National Congress and became a volunteer. Then he became a principal of Gujarat Vidyapit, which is in Ahmedabad, and because of that he was given the title of Acharya. Acharya is also like for the principal. So that's why he is now known as Acharya Kripalani. Acharya Kripalani. He was an ardent follower of Gandhiji and was an exponent of Gandhian philosophy and ideology. Kripalani took part in non-cooperation movement, Salt Satyagraha, civil disobedience movement, and Quit India movement. All the major satyagrahas he took part, and he was arrested and sent to jail multiple times. Now, in 1947, when India got independence, Kripalani was the Congress president. Yeah. He was the president during the historic motion when the independence was accepted. Also, the partition of India happened. See, he was the president of Congress that time. After partition and independence, Kripalani resigned from the post of party president because there is a conflict between the party and the government. So he resigned, ultimately resigned from the Congress as well, and remained in the opposition for the better part of his future life. He was elected to the Lok Sabha 4 times, and he remained critical of the Jawaharlal Nehru government on various issues as an opposition leader. He was also the critic of Indira Gandhi's government in 1970s, and he was arrested during the emergency.
What emergency?
Emergency was something that Indira Gandhi government declared in 1975. It lasted for 2 years. So by emergency, it means that the normal government was disbanded. Okay, so it became like a president rule across India. Okay, there are no state government, there is nothing else. So only so that is considered like a black phase of Indian democracy. Okay, there are no elections, nothing. Okay, so it lasted.
And he was a critic of Indira Gandhi government means?
He was a critic, means he was opposed to the policies of the government. Okay, so in the 70s, there was a lot of opposition to Indira Gandhi government because there are various things she did. Okay, so including this emergency and thing. So he was opposing those things. Okay, so he was working as an opposition leader. We saw the story of Jayaprakash Narayan, right? He was also an opponent of Indira Gandhi. Morarji Desai was also there. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was also there. So these are the people, they work together actually. Kripalani and Jayaprakash Narayan are actually together. Okay. Okay. So, and both were arrested during the emergency, again, for 2 years. Kripalani wrote his
But
autobiography.
what was the emergency?
Yeah, so emergency itself is a big topic. So basically, emergency is basically suspending the Indian constitution, right? India is a democratic country. We adopted a constitution in 1950. Okay, and the country is ruled by the constitution, where every 5 years we have elections of a central government, again in state governments we have elections. Okay, so all these are part of the democratic setup. So during the emergency, what happened, there were the circumstances, I'll not go into those details, okay. But on the 26th June 1975, Indira Gandhi declared an emergency, basically imposed a president rule across India, and she became the authority, the single authority across India, and the constitution was put on hold. Okay, so so anyone opposing this was put in jail, including Kripalani and other people. So there were any opposition, and the functioning of parliament, the parliament did function, but it was without opposition leaders. It was only the members of the Congress party. Okay, so this lasted for 2 years. So what they did, they could make any changes, okay, in the constitution. They can make any changes in the laws, okay, and it happened, okay. And when we'll come to the story of Morarji Desai, we'll come to know about what happened after that. Okay, so that was from the statistic point of view, from 1975 to 1977, India had an emergency declared by Indira Gandhi, which was considered a dark political phase, okay, where all the leaders were jailed, okay, and, kind of thing. And in 1975, again, the emergency was lifted and elections were held. So now, somewhat clear, Aditi?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Acharya Kripalani married to Sucheta Kripalani, okay, who is another hero. Will go through her story, okay, for some time. And they got married in 1938, but they were associated with different political organizations. Like Kripalani left Congress, but Acharya Kripalani left Congress, but Sucheta Kripalani was with Congress actually. And in Parliament, they were representing different parties. So a lot of time they were arguing against each other in Parliament, even though they were husband and wife. Okay. So that is the story of Acharya Kripalani. The next story we have Senapati Bapat. Okay. Now you must have heard the name, right? Senapati Bapat. Pune mein road hai ek, Senapati Bapat Road. Yes or
Yes.
no? Pavilion Mall.
He is related to Pune.
Yes, so he is related to Pune. Yes. So the name था Pandurang Mahadev Bapat. He was born on 12th November 1880 in the Parner town of Ahmednagar district of Maharashtra. Okay, not far from Pune actually. Ahmednagar district is adjacent to Pune. So Bapat was educated at the Deccan College again in Pune, right? Mm. And and that after that he traveled to Britain on a government scholarship in order to study engineering. Now during his stay in Britain, he was associated with the India House. We, we talked about India House and Shyamji Krishna Verma, right? Which was a house of Shyamji Krishna Verma, which was doing the revolutionary activities. So Bapat got associated with Shyamji Krishna Verma and Savarkar brothers while he was in London. He went to Paris and acquired the knowledge of making bombs. Okay. Then he came back to India, but after the Alipur bombing case, he went underground. Okay. But he was arrested in 1912. Now, what was Alipur bombing case? So in 1908, Khudiram Bose and Prafulla Chaki attempted to kill the chief magistrate of Alipur, whose name was Douglas Kingford, by throwing bomb on his horse carriage. Okay. So after that, a number of revolutionaries, I mentioned revolutionaries were those people who were using the violent means for freedom struggle. Okay. So a number of revolutionaries, especially Bengal and other places associated with the Anushasan Samiti, were arrested after this incident. So Bapat was also arrested after that in 1912. Okay. But before that, he was in hiding for 3 years. And during his hiding, Bapat found that common people were not connected with the revolutionary movements. While there were leaders who were carrying out the revolutionary movements, freedom struggle against the British, but the common people were not connected. The poor people were not interested in those movements. Okay. So he realized the importance of educating people against the British atrocities. People need to be made aware of that thing. So he later on worked on those parts. After he was released from jail in 1915, Bapat came to Pune and joined Bal Gangadhar Tilak, okay, and become associated in the nationalistic struggle of the independence activity. He joined Tilak here and continued the struggle. In 1920, Bapat, who was a revolutionary firebrand leader, realigned himself and joined the non-cooperation movement of Mahatma Gandhi. Okay. So by that time, Bal Gangadhar Tilak was no more, and Bapat aligned himself with the Mahatma Gandhi and joined the non-cooperation movement. Now, in 1921, this is where the main story happened. Right? There was a dam planned by the Tata company near Mulshi, which is a Mulshi dam. Okay. But it was going to cause a lot of trouble for the local people. So Bapat led a farmers' protest for 3 years against the construction of this Mulshi dam, which was the first recorded organized struggle against the forced displacement. This was the first such protest against the dam construction in the entire world. Okay, it lasted for 3 years. Okay. Although the satyagraha failed, Bapat was ultimately arrested for it, but he was hailed for his leadership. Yeah, he was admired for his leadership shown during this protest, and that's why he came to be known as Senapati. Senapati is a leader. Okay, like for Madhuri Satyagraha, Vallabhbhai Patel got the title of Sardar. Similarly, for this protest, Mulshi Dam protest, Bapat got the title of Senapati Bapat. Okay. After his arrest for the Mulshi Satyagraha, he remained in prison for nearly 7 years. And he was released in 1931. Then when Subhash Chandra Bose came to Mumbai, Bapat was also there and he organized the gatherings for Subhash Chandra Bose. Okay, again he was arrested for that thing. And the road on which he organized such gatherings for Subhash Chandra Bose is right now named Senapati Bapat Road in Mumbai. Okay. So Mumbai also there is a Senapati Bapat Road. Okay. On 15th August 1947, when India achieved independence, so there was a celebration across the country. So in Pune also, Indian flag was being hosted for the first time. Now, who did that honor? So none other than Senapati Bapat. Okay. He hosted the Indian tricolor for the first time in Pune. So that is the story of Senapati Bapat. The third hero we have is a Sohan Singh Josh. So Sohan Singh Josh was born on 12th November 1898 at a village Chetanpura in Amritsar, district of Punjab. According to some, the date of birth was 22nd September 1898. So either 12th November, 22nd September, one of those was the birth date. We are considering 12th November. He joined Khalsa College of Amritsar for higher education and left soon due to financial difficulties. He came from a very poor background, so he couldn't continue education. He then worked at a Hubli and Bombay before returning to Amritsar to pursue a career as a school teacher. He added the epithet or upnam, Josh, to his name to indicate his zealous and fierce nature. Like we had Maulana Azad. Similarly, he added the epithet or upnam called Josh because he was very Joshila person, like very energetic person, fierce person. So he took interest in the Gurudwara reform movements to liberate Sikh shrines from the corrupt custodians. So in Punjab, the Sikh religion is the dominant religion, and there is a committee that manages all the Gurudwaras. So there was a lot of corruption there. So he initiated the reforms there. He enthusiastically participated in the Akali movement, traveling from village to village and letting people against the British. He became member of the Shiromani Gurudwara Prabandhan Committee, which is still there, which manages the Golden Temple and other Gurudwaras in Punjab, and Shiromani Akali Dal, which carried out the reforms in the Gurudwaras. He was arrested for his seditious activities against the British. So in 1928, Josh took active part in the establishment of the Kirti Kisan Party, which was a political party for the Punjab farmers. Josh, again, he was in Amritsar, so he was associated with Bhagat Singh. He was a member of the Naujawan Bharat Sabha, which was started by Sukhdev, and close friend of Bhagat Singh. He was involved in various revolutionary activities and was arrested in the Meerut conspiracy case March 29. Okay, the case was for organizing the railway strikes by the communists. So he was arrested for that. After the jail term, Josh became one of the pioneers of the communist movement in Punjab. After independence, he became an active member of the Communist Party of India, which is one of the political parties, a left-wing political party in India. He became very active in that, and even became a part of their highest body called Politburo. Sohan Singh Josh was a prolific writer in Punjabi and English. He set up a revolutionary monthly magazine called Kirti in 1925, which was used by Bhagat Singh to communicate his ideas. Bhagat Singh's articles were published by this magazine, which was started by Sohan Singh Josh. He himself wrote multiple books in Punjabi and English, okay, about his life as a revolutionary. That is the story of Sohan Singh Josh. The fourth story we have is an environmentalist, Anil Agarwal.
Yes.
So might have heard about it, might not have heard about it, but we'll come to this story and we'll come to know about his importance in present India. Okay. He was born on 23rd November 1947 in Kanpur. In 1970, he got a degree in mechanical engineering from IIT Kanpur. He went to IIT Kanpur and he got a degree in mechanical engineering. So like many other students, he could have opted for a good job being from IIT, right? But he gave up that promising career and joined the Hindustan Times as a science correspondent. He wanted to write about science, okay, and the environment. So he joined as a journalist in the Hindustan Times. He was quite good at explaining complex ideas and communicating them with clarity, okay, through his writings. So Agarwal brought the Chipko movement into mainstream media's attention. Now, what was
Movement. We had this in EBS last year.
right? The Chipko movement was started in Uttarakhand by Sundarlal Bahuguna, basically to protest the forest which was being cut. So especially people, especially the women of the tribal villages, will hug the trees. Okay, they will.
So they won't be cut.
हाँ, they चिपक जाएंगे पेड़ से. So it's why called it's a chipko movement. So Agarwal brought this movement into mainline, right, through his writing. After that, Anil Agarwal went to England to gain international exposure. When he returned, he founded the Center for Scientific Science and Environment (CSC), which became one of India's most influential and vocal environmental NGOs, which is still functional. This CSC, which does a lot of work on environment. In 1982, Agarwal wrote The State of India's Environment, a Citizen's Report. He published a report through CSC about India's environment. Okay. This report was an eye-opener for everyone.
What is CSC?
CSC is this I mentioned here, right? Center for Science and Environment. It was an NGO started by Anil Agarwal. So they published a report called India's Environment, a Citizen's Report. Okay. It gave a detailed account of how ecological degradation is declining the biomass-based rural economy. So rural economy is largely based on biomass, basically the animals and plants. Okay, but the ecological degradation in the name of development. Okay, when we cut the forest, when we cut the hills, it is affecting the economy of the rural India. So he highlighted those points in his reports. In his second report, he argued for the holistic management of land and resources, okay, and the role of government and NGOs bringing this change. Okay, how the land and the nature resources should be managed in a careful manner. Otherwise, if we continue destroying them, there will be no future. He argued about those points. During the Rajiv Gandhi government, which was from 1984 to 1989, Anil Agarwal often briefed the cabinet ministers on environment and development to bring about the policy changes. He worked with the government that time. His report titled Slow Murder, there was another report called Slow Murder. He wrote extensively about vehicle pollution. Right now we are aware that the pollution caused by the vehicle, petrol, diesel. Okay, but he was one of the first person to write about those things in 1980s and 1990s. Okay, the entire public transport in Delhi switched to CNG due to his campaign. He initiated that campaign against the vehicle pollution, and that's why in Delhi, entire public transport, all the buses were converted to CNG. Yeah, that was his effort. He's also spoken. Yeah, Didi?
My last year, my Lok Seva bus, all the buses were compulsorily, their fuel was CNG.
Yeah, right. Yes. So the awareness about CNG was caused by Anil Agarwal. So he also spoke at international forums against the rich countries putting the entire blame of global warming on developing nations. See, on international forums as well, he highlighted the cause of environments and how the rich countries or developed countries are exploiting the environment. Yeah. He wrote or edited more than 20 books on science and environment in India. He asserted that ecological sustainability and social justice are two sides of the same coin. Okay, and which led to the model which later came to be known as a sustainable development. Right now, everyone talks of sustainable development, right? That the ecological stability, which is environment and social justice, everything should be together, right? So this was first argued by Anil Agarwal. Okay. For more than 20 years, he was India's most articulate and influential environmental campaigner. Okay. He was honored with Padma Bhushan in 2002. In 1987, the United Nations Environment Program elected Anil Agarwal to its Global 500 Roll of Honor. So there were top 500 people working on the environment. He was one of them, selected by the UN. So that is the story of Anil Agarwal.
Wow.
Next story we have is the hero called Verghese Kurien. Now this, a lot of people know the person. Okay, but very interesting story of Verghese Kurien. So Verghese Kurien was born in Kazikode of Kerala on 26th November 1981. Kurien graduated in science from the Loyola College and obtained a degree in mechanical engineering from the College of Engineering, Gundi. So he did his initial education from there. Now he wanted to join the army as an engineer. Okay. But his family wanted him to join Tata company. So he joined Tisco in Jamshedpur. He went to Jamshedpur, worked in Tisco as an intern. Obviously, he was not happy there. So after some time, he resigned. He got government scholarship, okay, to go to USA, but he got scholarship to study dairy engineering. While Kurien wanted to study nuclear physics and metallurgy. But nonetheless, he got a scholarship. So he went after he went to first Bangalore, where he did his training, and then went to United States. So while he was there to study dairy engineering, he also studied metallurgy and nuclear physics, okay, from the Michigan State University. So by this point, William was more interested in nuclear physics than dairy engineering. Okay, he was hardly interested in dairy engineering. But when he came back to India, because he went there for the government scholarship, he had to fulfill a bond with the government. So he had to work with the government for some time. So he was assigned a government creamery located in Anand of Gujarat to serve this bond period. So he was sent to Anand, okay, and worked there in the government creamery. Creamery is basically the small plant where the milk is processed. Okay, so he was sent there to look after that. Now Anand was a small town in Gujarat, and Kurien, who had just returned from USA, did not enjoy his stay. It was a very rustic place, so he didn't like that. So he decided to quit the government job midway and leave Anand. But while he was in Anand, he met a few people there. One of them was Tribhuvan Das Patel. Okay. Now Tribhuvan Das Patel, who worked with Sardar Patel and Moraji Desai at the time to start a cooperative of the Khera farmers, the farmers of the Khera region. So they were working on these things. So Tribhuvan Das Patel convinced Kurien to stay in Anand for some time and help him set up this cooperative dairy. So Kurien left the government job, he joined Tribhuvan Das Patel, and this Kurien's tenure at Anand changed the destiny of the Indian dairy industry. Okay, and that is how the Amul started. Okay. Kurien was the architect of India's White Revolution, which made India the largest milk producer of the world. He established the Khera District Cooperative Milk Union, okay, which later became to known as a Amul Dairy, okay, which is still there in Anand today. Okay. He asked his friend H.M. Dalaya, okay, whom he met in Bangalore during his training period, to come to Anand, who invented the process of making skim milk powder from the buffalo milk. So at that time, the milk powder was, okay, if we are running out of time, okay, we'll rejoin, okay? Yeah. So I think we'll complete this story and then we'll rejoin. So at that time, the milk powder was only made from cow milk, but this Dalaya made it possible to make it from the buffalo milk. Now, buffalo milk was abundant in India. There was a lot. It was in a high quantity. So this innovation ensured easy delivery of milk to different parts of India. So transporting milk is difficult, but transporting milk powder is easy. Okay, so that's how milk it became able to transport milk from Anand to different parts of India. Amul connected dairy farmers in the villages directly with the consumers and eliminating the middleman. So farmers will directly submit or deposit the milk to Amul, and there was no need of middleman. So our farmers also get more profit, and customers also get the good quality milk. 1965, Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri visited Anand to observe the working of this cooperative model, how this Amul is working. So he was impressed by the model and asked Kurien to replicate the model nationwide, and for which National Dairy Development Board (NDDB) was set up, okay, which was again set up in Anand, which was tasked to create similar cooperative model like Amul across the nation. The Anand model was replicated in Gujarat neighboring district under Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation called GCMMF in 1973 to sell their products under the single Amul brand. So different districts now came together under the single Amul brand. Then Kurian launched something called Operation Flood, which is a billion-liter idea with a mission to create many more Anand patent-based cooperatives across India. The similar model was applied in different states, in Maharashtra, in Uttar Pradesh, in Bihar, different places, and Kurian made it possible. Yeah. The vision of Kurian transformed India from a milk deficient country to a milk surplus country in few decades. In 1960s, India was a milk deficient country. We were importing milk from outside. And in 3 decades by 1990, India was exporting milk to different countries. That was the difference made by Korea. In 1979, he started the Institute of Rural Management in Anand called IDMA to groom the managers for the cooperatives. He also helped his expertise in setting up similar cooperatives in other countries, not only in other states in India. He also helped other countries like Soviet Union, Pakistan, China, Sri Lanka, doing the similar movements. He received many national international honors, awarded Padma Bhushan in 1999. And since 2014, the Korean's birthday, that is 26 November, is celebrated as a National Milk Day in India. So that is a story of India's milkman. Here you can see the photo, left-hand side photo, there is a Korean, there is a Tribhuvan Das Patel and H.M. Dalaya. It's Anand. The photo is taken in Anand. And here you can see Kurian with Lal Bahadur Shastri when he visited the Amul campus.
Bahadur Shastri.
Yeah. So this is a story of. Good morning, Nani.
Good morning. Jaipur food, the fake food.
So far so good? Yeah.
Uncle, is this the Jaipur food means that fake food?
Yes. That's good food. Yes.
Ananya Panna.
So the next story we have is of hero K Sethi.
Oh.
Okay. So the full name is Pramod Karan Sethi. So Pramod Karan Sethi was born on 28th November 1927 in Varanasi, Banaras, Uttar Pradesh. His father was a professor of physics at the Banaras Hindu University, which is BHU. Pramod Sethi did MBBS and MS from the Ascent Medical College of Agra. So he became a doctor. Dr. Sethi was an extraordinary surgeon and received fellowship of Royal College of Surgeons, which is FRCS in 1954, which is a scholarship given by England and Ireland. So he went there for further studies. After coming back to India, Dr. Sethi joined Savai Madhav Singh Hospital in Jaipur. Now in this hospital, there was no orthopedic department. Orthopedic is someone who works on the joints, the body. So there was no orthopedic department here. So Dr. Sethi was asked to build one. He observed that several patients from low economy background used to come there for surgeries, for different surgeries related to different limbs. Now Sethi wanted to provide an appropriate and inexpensive appliance for polio patients and amputees, people whose limbs are not working, or for some reason, due to some accident, they had to be cut off. So he wanted to provide an inexpensive appliance for such patients. At that time, the artificial limbs available in Pune and Mumbai were very expensive and heavy, and there were only 2 places where these limbs are available, in Pune and Mumbai, and those are very expensive and those are very heavy. So after using them, you cannot do a lot of work. So they did not offer much flexibility either. So most of these people who are coming from a rural background worked in farms. So they cannot use them because they had to work in farms. At a chance meeting with a master craftsman, Ram Chandra Sharma, Dr. Sethi came up with an idea which created a lightweight, affordable, durable, and flexible artificial food. So they both worked together and created a new type of food design, which was lightweight, which was cheap, and which was flexible. Okay, and that became known as the Jaipur food. So ultimately, it was developed in Jaipur. In 1970, Sethi presented his first paper on the Jaipur food. And within 4 years, he was asked to give a lead talk at the first World Congress on prosthetic in Switzerland. That was the success of Jaipur food. That became so famous. Okay. Within 4 years, he was representing India in Switzerland. Okay. He was giving talk on the Jaipur food. The food gave ease of walking to amputees on uneven terrains, and they could do field work. Okay. It has been extensively used for the wall amputees across the world. A lot of such people come from wars, okay, who suffer such uh, uh, mishap during the wars or while okay, where they accidentally step on the mines. So earlier they could not do anything. Now, because of the Jaipur food, they can get back to the normal life. Through the donations, he also built a rehabilitation unit there to provide free artificial limbs to poor people. So not only Jaipur food is sold, okay, at a cheaper rate, but for extremely poor people, they are also provided free, okay, in the rehabilitation center in the institute. Dr. Sethi was conferred many awards and honors for his outstanding work. He was awarded Padma Shri by the government of India in 1981. And he is also recognized by the Guinness Book of World Records for helping many amputees in obtaining mobility again. So that is the story of Jaipur food and Dr. Sethi. So this is the Jaipur food and Dr. Sethi. Okay. So you can see after it was designed in such a way that after using that, the person can get back to the normal life. They can work in field, they can climb. There are people who have performed dances using this food. Okay.
Yes. My teacher told me of this story. A story. We also had a handicapped person story in our Hindi book. So teacher told us another story, and that person, I don't remember her name, but she uses Jaipur food to dance.
Yes, yes. So, so that people have used it to even people after using it, people do mountain climbing as well. Okay, so that's the story of uh, Jaipur food. Yeah. So that person, that the lady, okay, who performed dances using Jaipur food, okay, was Sudha Chandran, who's one leg
Yes.
because of some reason. So she used Jaipur food, and she was a classical dancer, and she still continues to perform dances. So that's the story of Jaipur food. The last story we have is a Captain Gurbachan Singh Salaria. He was again army man. He was born on 29th November 1935 in Chamwal village in Gurdaspur district of Punjab. He was quite good in sports, especially in kabaddi, during his early years. After joining National Defence Academy at Kharakosla and then subsequently the Indian Military Academy in Dehradun, Gurbachan Salaria was commissioned into 1 Gorkha Rifles in 1957. That was his unit, 1 Gorkha Rifles. Because of his cropped haircut and upturned mustache, Captain Gurbachan Singh Salaria was nicknamed Khan Sahib by his commanding officers. As we can see in the photo. Now, he was a part of the Indian contingent for the UN peacekeeping operation in Congo. So UN peacekeeping mission that lasted from July 1960 to June 1964 was a military mission started by UN, okay, for the conflict going on in Congo. So armed personnel from different countries were sent as a part of the UN, okay, United Nations. So from India, there was one unit was sent, and Captain Salaria was part of that. During December 1961, Captain Salaria's unit was deployed in the conflict-ridden Elizabethville. So there's a place called Elizabethville in Congo where there was a lot of conflict going on between
Elizabethville.
Yeah, Elizabethville is a place name of the place. Okay, and so there was there was a rebel armed group, and they were causing a lot of troubles. So they were this unit was deployed there to control them. So now earlier, what happened that one of the Indian major was abducted by, means kidnapped by the rebel armed groups during the negotiations. So Indian group was not happy. They were very much in anger because of this thing. On December 5, Captain Salaria was asked to remove enemy roadblocks near the airfields. There was an airfield nearby, which was used to provide the supplies. And the rebel groups have created roadblocks near the airfield. So his unit was asked to remove those on December 5. So his small unit of 16 men armed with 303 rifles, okay, they were not even having the automatic machine guns kind of thing. They were having those plain rifles and Khupris doing that task, and they met strong opposition from the large number of rebels armed with automatic weapons. So they were ambushed. The 16 people were ambushed by the rebel groups, okay, and they're surrounded by them. So despite a numerically superior enemy, Captain Salaria decided to take them head on and teach them a lesson. So he planned a counter ambush. He took out what he did is he led some of the people and did a counter ambush on this rebel group. Okay. He was like a man possessed, and his raw courage came to the fore during that attack. He eliminated many rebels in close encounters and led the assault. Yeah. The rebels soon disintegrated because of this heavy attack launched by Captain Salaria and his men. So he was at one point he saw the armed rebel firing on his troop. So he took him in head on, but Salaria himself was hit by the multiple bullets, but on the neck, and he ultimately fell down. So he didn't survive, but his leadership and his courage inspired his team. He ultimately succeeded in dismantling rebels from that area. So the mission became successful because of the bravery of Captain Salaria. He became the first and the only recipient of this coveted Paramveer Chakra given to a soldier in a UN operation. You remember, this operation was held in
UN means?
United Nations. UN is United Nations.
Okay, I didn't understand this because my sister kept.
Okay. So this is one of the operations that was done by Indian soldiers, but that was not on Indian soil, or not for India's interest. This was done in the Congo, okay, in Africa, as a part of the UN mission, the United Nations mission. So Captain Salaria is the only recipient of Paramveer Chakra under this mission. Okay. So that is the story of Captain Salaria. So now we know these names, right? Senapati Bapat, Verghese Kurien, then Anil Agarwal, the top. Then Acharya Kripalani, Captain Salaria, K Sethi, and Sohan Singh Josh. So these are the 7 stories we end today. So again, a small quick quiz we'll have. So
K Sethi.
yeah, Jaipur food. Now you know, right? You must have heard about Jaipur food. Who created the Jaipur food? Yeah, K Sethi. Yes, you can unmute now. Who was associated with Gujarat Vidyapit? Who worked as a principal of Gujarat Vidyapit? Senapati Bapat, Sohan Singh Josh, Acharya Kripalani, or K Sethi?
Gujarat Vidyapit, Acharya Kripalani.
Is that correct? Mahika, Nani? You forgot, right? Yeah, that's fine. Yes, that is why he's called Acharya. right? He was the principal of Gujarat Vidyapit. So it's Acharya Kripalani. Yes.
Carry on in your close
This is simple.
Maria.
This is everyone knows.
Verghese Kurien.
Yes,
Verghese
milkman of India is
Kurien.
Verghese Kurien.
Kurien. I knew this would come.
Yes.
Because there's Milkman of India right down, and you had told Iron Man of India before, and it
Yes.
came in the quiz.
Yeah. So that is how you remember the names, right? You remember this thing. Now, who worked on the CNG campaign for vehicles?
Anil Agarwal.
Yes. Anil
Anil
Agarwal.
Agarwal.
Correct. Yeah. So whenever you see the CNG buses, remember this name Anil Agarwal, who worked for this campaign. Yeah. And this story we just had, UN peacekeeping mission, United Nations peacekeeping mission.
Captain Gurbachan Singh Salaria.
Salaria, yes, Captain Gurbachan Singh Salaria. He's the only
Gurbachan Singh Salaria.
Salaria. He's the only Paramvir Chakra awardee who worked on this UN peacekeeping mission. So that's the everything we have for today. So I hope you enjoyed. Any questions, anything, any doubts you have, okay, or anything you want to share? No, all good. So thank you and keep reading. Okay, I hope there are a lot of stories to know about. So we'll continue with that. Okay, so see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.